What's going on, Lions Den family, and welcome back to the channel. Today is Monday, so you know what today is. Today is Motivational Monday. But before we get into the video, I need y'all to do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, and make sure you turn on your post notifications. That way you know anytime that I post. We're almost at 600 subscribers. We probably hit it by now. But I just want to say I thank y'all for joining the community and being a part of this growth and this movement that God is doing in my life. I'm here to just be a blessing, to be a light, and I do it all for the glory of God. So God bless every single last one of y'all that's been supporting the channel. Again, I appreciate it. But let's go ahead and get into the video.
Walk it like I talk it, yeah, I walk it. Yeah. Flowers never grow without some water.
So today we're talking about there's purpose in it. You see, oftentimes we try to figure things out rather than asking God, why is this here? What is the purpose of why you allowed me to endure this? Oftentimes I find that we tend to complain about the things that we go through in life, right? We tend to find the negative in it. We're quick to judge it rather than just sitting alone with God and truly trying to understand, God, what is this here to birth in me? What is this here to break out of me? What is this here to help me grow or to help me mature or to become a better man or woman? How is this here to help my life, right? If we spend more time in that realm, then I'm pretty sure we'll come out with better perspectives, right? Rather than being just so negative about life and everything that we have to go through. Today, our talking points are going to be God always has a purpose. It happened for you, not to you. And that's a good one. I love that one. Look at where it landed you and helped you to help others. Our Bible verses are going to be from Jeremiah 29:11. And it states, "For I know the plans and the thoughts that I have for you, says the Lord. Plans for peace and well-being and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." Our second Bible verse is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. "For we are his workmanship, his own masterwork, a work of art, created in Christ Jesus, reborn from above, spiritually transformed, renewed, ready to be used for good works, which God prepared for us beforehand, taking paths which he set, so that we would walk in them, living the good life which he prearranged and made ready for us." And our third verse being Romans 8:28. And this is a very popular one. "And we know with good confidence that God, who is deeply concerned about us, causes all things to work together as a plan for good for those who love God, to those who are called according to his plan and purpose." God always has a purpose. The comfort in going through anything you go through is knowing that God always has a plan and a purpose. There is nothing that we face in life that isn't ordained by God. God has written our story to pan out in a way that leads us to a life that is blessed and full of his goodness. We can see that in Jeremiah 29:11. I know it's easy to blame God or to even distance yourself, especially when you lack the understanding of why. This is when I encourage you to ask God for clarity of his purpose for why he chose you to endure the task at hand. In doing this, it helps us not be angry, bitter, or upset, but we have grace instead, knowing there's better ahead of us. Knowing that God has a plan, again, it's a comfort. It's a comfort in knowing that I'm not just going through this for no particular reason at all. It lets us know that God is not just picking on me, that he's not just angry at me, that he's not just picking me out of my family and saying, you just get to go through this hellish life. No, he chose you because he has greater plans for you. The Bible says, to whom much is given, much is required, right? And when you look at families, right, there's always that one in the family. And sometimes it may be more than one, but there's always that one that God chooses to pick out of the bunch because he has such a great calling on your life, right? And so when God has a calling on your life, there are going to be some things that you have to endure and that you have to go through, right? But instead of allowing those tests and trials to make you bitter or to make you angry or to even make you blame God or to distance yourself from God, ask God, God, how is this a part of my ministry? How is this going to be used one day to become a testimony that I can help someone else that's going through the same exact thing that I'm going through? It's all about changing your perspective. Let's move on. It happened for you, not to you. This right here is my favorite one because I can remember the time when God actually had to let me know this about my life, right? A lot of times I used to always find myself in a place where I felt like life was just always happening to me. Something's always happening. Something's always going wrong. This is always coming up. That's always coming up, right? And I used to feel like that for a while. But it took God literally imparting his wisdom in me and helping change my perspective for me to see that things were not working against me, but they were actually working for me. Understanding that life happened for you, not to you, has been a concept a bit tough for most to comprehend. I too used to always feel that life was always happening to me until one day God gave me the wisdom to understand how it was happening for me. When we go through things, we have to understand that those things are building us. It's because of these life experiences that we grow to become the men and women that we are today. It's because of these life experiences that we grow to become the men and women that we are today. Understanding the true meaning of life happens for you and not to you is to understand the story of Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his brothers who hated him. Joseph was lied on by his boss's wife. He endured prison and then being promoted to being in charge of everything in the king's kingdom, which was Pharaoh's house. It means you understand his words he spoke to his brothers when he said, "What you meant to be evil towards me, God turned it and made it good for me." And that right there alone should really give you what I mean by the statement that life is not happening to you, but it's happening for you. Everything that Joseph had to endure, and for me, Joseph is one of my favorite characters in the Bible. He's one of the ones that I study a lot. Him and David. And the thing that I love so much about Joseph is that Joseph went through so much, but not once did you hear Joseph be angry, be mad, be upset, complain about it, right? He went through it and he went through it trusting God because he knew that it was leading him to a place that only God can take him. You got to remember, right? God had gave Joseph a dream and God had already showed him what was going to happen. So he pre-warned Joseph, right? This is going to transpire. This is where I'm going to take you. I'm going to put you in position to where you can take care of your family. But everything that he had to go through in order to get there, he didn't allow that to stop him. He didn't allow that to stop him from having faith or trust in God or believe in God or knowing that God had a greater purpose and plan. Even if God used those that were close to him to hurt him or to even position him, God used them. But Joseph didn't let that stop him. So whatever it is that you're going through in your life, you have to change your perspective. You have to start seeing that, wait, this thing is working for me because it's getting ready to set me up for something greater. It's getting ready to set me up in rooms and places that God is getting ready to call me to that I personally didn't see that I was even qualified for. But God knows that I'm qualified. But in order for me to get there, I'm going to have to overcome these steps. I'm going to have to overcome these tests and these trials. And I'm going to have to allow myself to be grateful. And I'm going to have to allow myself to know that God is with me and he's for me and he's not against me. Let's move on to the next one. Look at where it landed you. When you look at your life today and where you are today, your perspective is either thankful or discouraged. If you land on the discouraged side, it's because you chose to not see how life could work for you. It means you certainly took it personal and that there's some bitterness and unforgiveness within your heart. If you land on the thankful side, it's because you see the goodness of God and you realize that it could have been worse. You see and understand that you aren't supposed to be where you are, but you know it's by God's grace that you are. When we tend to look at our lives, right? Like I said, we either judge it from this place of being thankful or we judge it from this place of being bitter, being angry, being upset, being cold and asking questions. Why did it have to happen to me? Or we're grateful in a sense of I'm glad that I went through that because if I had not gone through that, then I wouldn't be able to be where I am at today, right? So it's all about what perspective you choose after the going through that will help you see where life has landed you as a good thing, right? When you look at your life and you see where you are, Always remember this and think about this. If it had not been for those experiences, will you be the person that you are? Will you be where you are at? Let's go on to the next one. Helped you to help others. The Bible encourages us to share our testimonies with each other because through us sharing, we can help each other overcome. All the things you've been through in your life isn't just for you, it's also for someone else who needs to hear about your victories in Jesus. The fact that you made it out and you are still living is a blessing in itself. Don't ever dim your light or hide your story because it matters and it helps more than you know. When I think of this, I do think a lot of times about how we can be afraid to share our stories, right? How we can be afraid to open up to people and let people know, hey, I've been there. Hey, I've gone through that, or I've done that, right? I've endured that. I've witnessed that. And a lot of times we be in a place of fear of what people are going to think, what people are going to say, how people are going to react, how people are going to treat us after knowing certain things about us or what we overcame or what we went through, right? And that's not really what matters, but I understand it because I too know what it's like to be in that place. For a while, it took me a long time to open up about things that I've experienced or endured in my life, or even about being a fatherless son, because who wanted to hear another sob story, right? That's how I felt, right? But it wasn't until God gave me the courage to begin to open up that I started to see how God would connect my life to other people that were dealing with the same things that I was dealing with. And the more God began to heal me and still healing me and still working on me, I'm able to give back. I'm able to help others. I'm able to help others overcome the triggers and the traumas and the pains that I once felt, the anger. You get what I'm saying? That I once felt of being a fatherless son, right? And so it's really a gift. It's really a gift in being able to have a testimony to share with somebody, because you can be, as I always like to say, you can be that one person that says something, that talks someone off a cliff, that talks someone out of suicide, that talks someone out of giving up, that talks someone out of going and doing something that will not only harm themselves, but that will harm somebody else. If we just allow ourselves to understand, that our story is not really our own, but that God gives it to us so that we can help others through, then we'll understand how much we need to share it, how much we need to release it, and how much we need to be open about it. Because just sitting on it, it helps no one. It don't even help us. In fact, it makes us more bitter. It makes us more cold. It makes us more angry the more we sit with it and we think about it rather than releasing it. So I want to encourage you to share your testimony because somebody out there needs it. Let's move on to the final piece. So as we get ready to close out for today, again, I want us to remember that everything has a purpose. We don't serve a God that just randomly chooses to do something on a Tuesday or on a Monday or on a Friday. We don't serve a God that just decides, hey, I'm just going to pick you and just put you through this. Everything that God has allowed us to go through has been for purpose, has been with reason, has been with wisdom, has been with God understanding. And the only thing left for us to do other than going through it and overcoming it is to understand why we had to go through it. And when we get to that point of understanding why, then that's when I believe that we'll truly begin to walk into purpose, walk into the purpose that God has over our life. Because every one of us that are watching this video, we have purpose attached to our lives. We're not just on this earth just to live, to aimlessly walk through this earth and to just enjoy just the things on this earth. No, there is purpose that's attached to our lives. And I want us to understand that. So as you continue to grow, as you continue to overcome, as you continue to heal, I want you to know that the past is the past. It happened. We can't change it, right? But what we can do is change how our lives are going forward, and also how others' lives can be affected by our lives and our testimonies in a good way, and how we can help them get into a better place and a better position in their life, right? To where they don't have to go through the things that we going through, or they don't have to struggle, or they don't have to be lost as long as we were lost, right? But that they can come out of these things sooner, to where they can get a chance to really enjoy their lives and enjoy everything that God intends for them to. And so I want us to take that, and I want us to begin to ask God, instead of asking God why, ask God, what is it for? Ask God, how can I use this to serve others? Ask God, how can I testify about this? How can I be a blessing with what it is that you allowed me to go through? Right? And also change your perspective. Change your perspective and see that God is doing it for your good. The same way Joseph told his brothers, you meant evil towards me, and I understand that. But just because you meant evil, it doesn't mean that God wasn't able to take that evil that you meant and turn it to where it actually worked out good in my favor. Because of all the things I went through, I'm not supposed to be here helping you. I'm not supposed to be here serving you. I'm not supposed to be here looking out for you. I'm really supposed to be angry and bitter and cold and mad. But God. So I thank God for this word on today. May y'all be blessed. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button, because I'm pretty sure somebody that you know needs to hear this. But God bless y'all. Happy Monday. Enjoy y'all week. And if I don't see y'all before, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. 2026 is going to be a great year for a lot of us. It's time that we begin to walk in purpose, and that we let go of the pain and everything else that we've been holding on to, so that we can serve God, serve others, and that we can even serve ourselves. But God bless y'all. God keep y'all and cover y'all. And as I always like to say, be encouraged, get inspired, and stay uplifted. God bless.
Wisdom is for free, but yet it's overpriced. And I never seen success happen overnight.